What is going on, Angel? Welcome to the stream, brother. Yeah, I couldn't wait to give my opinion, to be fair. We're going to try to do something here in a little bit. We're going to wait and see if we can get more people into the chat. And we're going to try something. I, I hope I have it set up so that we can do this. But in a nutshell, I'm going to tell you I'm very excited. And we'll go over all the reasons why and all the news that's out there and all this stuff. And I've always wanted to do something like this to where we could react to the thing. So we're going to end up watching, I hope, fingers crossed, the reaction, the trailer. We're going to watch it. We're going to react to it. We're going to go through, talk about it a little bit more. Yeah, no, but I'm excited to do it. Hey, what's going on, McWayne? Welcome to the stream, brother. Yeah, it's be pretty cool. It'll be a lot of fun, I think. Hopefully I got it set up to where we could do this. You know what happens every time I try to do something new. I think I got it, and then it just doesn't work. So, I hope this does. Tested it a bunch of times, so I hope. Fingers crossed, you know what I mean? What is going on, Digital? Welcome to the stream. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch the official announcement trailer. And I'm not going to say anything. It's 1 minute and 9 seconds long. We're going to let it play through. We're going to, at the end, we're going to start talking about it a little bit, and then we're going to go back and look at some different things. I've watched a bunch of different interviews now, so I have more information about 2K24 that we're going to talk about. Some really, really exciting things. And there's still a bunch of details out there that we don't know about. So, yeah, let's get started. And let's hope that this works. So that's the trailer, right? Pretty exciting. Like, there's so many like little tidbits in there. We're gonna go through and kind of talk about it a little bit, break it down, but so many little tidbits that are in there. So, one, guest referee is coming back, or coming, well, to this series really for the first time since like way back in 2014. Guest referee's coming. Gauntlet match is coming, so that's going to be amazing. They said all these match types are also available in universe mode. So that's amazing. Ambulance, didn't expect that. Nobody was really asking for the ambulance match, but ambulance match, super fun. And if you're going to have a casket match, you might as well have ambulance match, right? And casket match coming back. So four brand new, um, four brand new things that are coming. So let's play through, and I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause the trailer.
I think this is how my story ends.
Roman Reigns has done it again.
This is the story of legacy.
So what's crazy about that, there's now going to be double title matches in universe mode. I said if there was one thing, like if there was one thing they could do, make double title matches in universe mode. And that's what they did. So that's cool, like right away. There's a ton of improvements, but double title matches in universe mode. So that is going to be amazing. Hey, what's going on, Sentinel? Welcome to the stream, brother. Well, so what's cool is you're looking at one of the cover stars right here. So if you see the thumbnail on my thing, Cody Rhodes is the official cover star. But in the second version, in the digital upgrade, which we're going to see, it's going to be Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. And then in the ultimate version of the game, it's going to be the 40 years of WrestleMania that'll have a bunch of people. So you have 3 different covers now for the 3 different versions of the game, which is super cool. Yeah, and we're going to cover that too. We're actually going to go into a bunch of things, and I'm going to get more in depth with the stuff that I know from a Brian Williams interview and a Tyrell. So, uh, they had some interviews yesterday. I'm sure more information is going to release today, and we'll talk about that. So much to talk about, guys. Like, I didn't know how else to do it, so I'm like, we have to do it to where we can kind of look at this and start breaking down the trailer. But Roman Reigns, Mick Foley, a bunch of other guys are going to, for the very first time, be doing their own voices in the game in the career mode. Gosh, so much to talk about.
I got the EST story.
And it might be! Ladies and women,
I'll rip the pages out of your story.
Rhea Ripley, holy cow. So the as pre-order bonuses too, like when and we'll get into it. There's actually going to be four wrestlers. It's always been where it's like one like celebrity style wrestler who's not even really a wrestler. Now it's going to be the Nightmare Family Pack. It's going to be amazing too. Um, but it's interesting because these guys are talking about their story and how you progress their story, right? So in universe mode, there's going to be more options. You can choose run-ins now, and I hope, and we don't know this yet, but I hope that you can control who is doing the running in. Because the problem, even with this year, what they do, and you should know this, they set the base of whatever it is, and then they build on it the next year. Hey, what is going on, Bama? Welcome to the stream, brother. So I'm hoping the things that they're talking about right here in this trailer is, Bianca Belair's like, I got the ST story, baby. Rhea Ripley's like, I'm gonna rip a page out of your story. So they've made the rivalry actions more in depth this year, and I hope more controllable.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. My story started at the very beginning, brother. My story's full of ass whooping.
doing what he does best.
I'll end your story.
Now, this is crazy, and I hope this is kind of what it means. Look at Shawn Michaels' outfit. If you look and you go back over the years, Shawn Michaels always has the same outfit. Like all these guys, it's always just like the same outfit. So with this 40 years of WrestleMania being the showcase mode, so it's not one guy, it's not like the John Cena showcase mode. Now it's going to be 40 years of WrestleMania. And that's what they're going through right here. That'll be another like really cool thing. So there's other bonuses, like if you get the 40 years of WrestleMania, you'll get another pack with a bunch of different alternate attires for these wrestlers, which is amazing. So before you even start the game, you've got 9, 10 different things, different wrestlers that you've already unlocked, which is crazy. What's going on, Master? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is one of 2 games that I'll ever pre-order. I never pre-order games, but wrestling and anything the division does, I'll always pre-order. So yeah, like that's the Nightmare Family Pack. There's going to be Dusty Rhodes, superstar Billy Graham will be in the game for the first time ever. I did because you know what it alluded to, and they talked about this, but it alludes to their slingshot technology. Most of it I thought was pretty well done. Like you look at the Undertaker, you look at Hulk Hogan. Like I thought that was very well done. Steve Austin, that was pretty wonky. Like no way they could have looked at that and been like, yeah, that looks really good. But the rest of it, I mean, I thought it looked really good, and it's getting across their point that hey, we're going to do this stuff. I thought it was cool because if you look at like Solo Sikoa, you look at Rhea Ripley, it's like updated versions of these. So when they're going back and forth between wrestling, like their AI stuff in there, whatever, it is that slingshot technology that they use in their showcase mode every single year. Some people love it, some people don't, but I think it's fine. I think it's going to be even better now, and we'll get into it a little bit more here in a second, but it's going to be even better now that it's not just one person. Like I enjoyed it in 2K23 where you played against John Cena as all of his opponents, not only as John Cena. So I thought that made it a little bit more interesting. Hold on real quick while we switch over to the next part of this. So here, this is right off of their website, off 2K24, WWE 2K24's website, going into the features. So the 2K showcase of the Immortals, 40 years of WrestleMania. One of the biggest spectacles takes center stage, packed with the greatest matches from WrestleMania's illustrious 40-year career. So that's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to allow you to recreate iconic moments and help some WWE legends claim their place in the record books as undisputed champions. So I think, you know, that's some clues into what we're going to be seeing. We're going to be able to go back and look at the greatest matches, yes, but then when was like the world title belt on the line? So, you know, if you, Hogan in the trailer talks about, I was there in the beginning, brother. So, you know, they're showing right here up at the top, you know, WrestleMania 3, obviously. So I think what's going to be really cool, hopefully we're getting all these different WrestleMania venues now. That would be super cool. Yeah, you know, Master, what I would do too. I would just kind of keep an eye out if you really wanted to, because hopefully there'll be a big sale. If there's a big sale, I'd just pick up the game to see, you know, the 2K23 version of the game and just start getting used to the controls. Controls are going to be probably pretty much the same. The all new match types. So the neat thing about these match types, when you look at the casket match, there's going to be things inside the casket match where it's not just there to where, oh, it's the casket match, you open it up, you throw something in, and that's the end of the game. The casket's actually going to be very interactive. So they showed a clip of where Shawn Michaels is already inside the casket. So then when the Undertaker goes to open the casket, Shawn Michaels jumps out the casket. So are we going to be able to do that? They didn't say yes or no to that, but they said it's going to be very interactive. So you'll be able to throw people onto the casket, use the casket as a weapon, other than just throwing people inside the casket. I remember back when they had the ambulance matches, you were able to do the same thing. That's funny. So, yeah, I kind of realized the same thing where I'm 48, and I've probably been watching wrestling since I was about 5. Like, it was before there was a WrestleMania. You know what I mean? And so then when they were like 40 years of WrestleMania, I'm like, oh man, I'm getting old. Yeah, I think all the games will. The ambulance, but it won't just be about the mini game. You'll be able to use the casket throughout the entire match is the cool part. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be a mini game kind of like sorry, getting a Bark Squad member down here. Nashi and Sarge, got to get them settled before they start barking and figuring out why we have a membership set up called the Bark Squad. But it'll be really interesting to see like that part of it where what is the mini game going to be like? Is it going to be like the Money in the Bank where you've got the circles going around and you got to get the circle up, or is it going to be a series of button pushes going on? Don't know, but I'm sure we're going to find out like in these upcoming days. It's crazy, for all the things that we just found out, there is still so much more to find out, right? Here's the other super cool thing, and Brian Williams alluded to this, and Tyrell, they alluded to the fact that now if you're playing like in MyGM mode, there's going to be unlockables that will unlock across the entire game. If you're doing it in MyRISE, it'll unlock across the entire game. So there's going to be like different outfits and different this is and different that's and different whatever. He was also asked a very interesting question where they asked him, "Hey, is it going to be possible now that if we play my faction, which I don't play because there's no point to it, right? But if I play my faction and my faction's getting updated all the time, will you be able to unlock things that way across that will unlock in all across all modes?" He said he can't talk about it right now, but they are really looking forward to bringing an announcement that the entire community has been hoping for very soon. So, will that be before the game? I would imagine. But if they do, I bet you they won't announce that until right before the game launches. Like, get the fever pitch as high as I can possibly get it, and then bam, announce it, right? Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, digital member of the Bark Squad. Hell yeah. Yeah, guys, become a member. If you're already subscribed to the channel, it's probably where the subscribe button was, or where it says see perks or something like that. It looks a little bit different for everybody, but if you click on the see perks, it doesn't make you a member all of a sudden, but you can go in and choose between the two different memberships if you want to be a part. Like if you're not a part of our universe and you want me to make a wrestler out of you right now, that's the fastest way to do it. Otherwise, just show up. You don't have to be members. Nobody has to be a member on the channel. But there are two different levels. That all the money made from the channel goes back to you guys. We're going to do it in the form of replica wrestling belts, and you guys are going to get to be able to wrestle for that live, like in one of our live shows. So that'll be pretty cool. We'll work it into our WCW universe. What is going on? No, you know, you say Bark Squad. Here's what your pops up to. Yeah, that's what I said too. Like, and I think that's the census with everybody. If they make things unlockable across all the platforms, I'd actually play my faction as well. You know, one of the reasons I'm like really excited, if you notice, what we do on the channel is I do the creation suites, right? I do that, and then I do the other part of it, which is you know, our actual live shows where I turn off the commentary, I commentate all the stuff. We have 5 seasons of that right now. Something else, just so you guys know on the channel that we're going to do different. While we're doing the creation, like while we're recreating the 2K24 stuff, we'll do that in the morning, like at this time. We'll be doing the creation suites, but we will still, I will leave 2K23 installed, and we will still be having our shows until I've created enough to where we can switch over our shows to 2K24. So we'll do that. We have never done that before. We've always just bam, we end it, and then everything's 2K24. We're going to be going back and forth still a little bit, so there'll be a little bit of that, so that we'll still have our shows going on. I love the shows, you know what I mean. So we'll be doing that. What is going on, JD4? I haven't seen you in a while, brother. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yep. No, looking forward to that. We might be able to get them. Like if you get Walter and Brutus back to doing their thing, um, it'll be interesting. I think I've got some storylines for that now. That'll be an interesting thing to see and do. We'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, looking forward to that as well. So yeah, all new match types. This is going to be interesting too, because now you have the men's version, which is the undisputed, and the women's, which is the unleashed. Um, you know, stories, and now in that story as well, it's going to unlock things, which it has done, but it's going to help unlock things across the thing. And I think what we'll do is we'll actually maybe we'll play that on the stream as well, because that's something we could do in the morning time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be announcing it, but we can go through and just kind of progress through the stories and see what the Unleashed and the Undisputed is. Unlock, go through and actually unlock different things. So that'll be fun. What is this? Build your faction. Using Superstars Legend every era, which is single player, online, multiplayer matches. So that's just the MyFACTION stuff. That is super cool. This should kind of, this is another like little hint. So if she's got this face paint in the game, most of the people are going to have very updated outfits like within the last couple months. I'm hoping they get Becky Lynch right. I heard that Trish Stratus got in and got new scans done, so hopefully it's not the same old with Trish Stratus. That was the thing that was kind of disappointing last year. You know, we get some of these updated ones, Lita, the same crap, you know, it's the same player model, the same whatever. Yeah, I'm glad she's in the game, don't get me wrong. I'd rather have her in the game than not in the game. But then it was like very little effort was put in to doing the thing. But look, and I'm not getting on the devs for that, so don't take that the wrong way. They can only do what they do, right? So there's only so much time in a day, and they do some heroic like effort work. You know what I mean? By getting some of the stuff that they do, and you look at it, it's a 12-month turnaround. So not when I have criticisms of the game, so you realize there's got to be some things that give. There's so keep that in mind. And that is the other thing, Master. That's the other thing that we're looking at right now is I hope that we can get Universe Mode to bring back the promos. The promos would add a lot. And I hope they give us the option to turn on or turn off the words. You know what I mean? That would be good. Most of the time I fill in the words for our universe, but it's cool because it gives us a reason to have an announcement. If you go back and look at season 1 and season 2, we had promos, right? Because we were using 2K19. And in 2K19, we would have John Cena be our commissioner. He would come down and he would kind of lay out the stuff that might be going on for that evening's matches, or we might not see him that evening. We might be setting up feuds against other people. We might be breaking up tag teams. Like there's a lot of stuff. So I was shocked when it wasn't in the game. The other super cool thing, which is cool, JD. That's not really what the stream's about. Like I get the promo stuff and I love it, but this is more about what's going to happen with the game, not with our universe mode, but with the game, 2K24. So, and then on MyGM, we're probably going to be able to start a series now, because now I think we're getting to the point where things are going to be interesting. So check this out. They brought in more general managers, so it's not just, you know, they've expanded the roster of general managers you could be. They expanded the shows. They've actually got an ECW show now, too, that they're bringing back. But assume the role of general manager and draft an elite roster of WWE superstars. So you can now start producing larger-than-life shows in GM mode, more executive decisions by trading superstars, so they're bringing trading back, offering contracts, and doing whatever it takes to, you know, beat the rival brand. So there's going to be more things that you could do, like where you're sabotaging the other brand or you're boosting your brand. I think they have up to 3 shows right now. So what I thought would be really interesting is having like your WWE universe, of course, right? Like having the Raw brand versus WCW versus ECW. You know what I mean? And doing that. So that would be interesting. There's other things that are inside there that we don't know yet. What I'm hoping is they move away from, to make it a good show, I've got to have the Giant versus Rey Mysterio. Like I've got to have the biggest guy on the planet versus the littlest guy on the planet, and that's what makes a good match. It shouldn't be like that. It should be based off the wrestler's star rating. You're telling me that Rey Mysterio versus Stone Cold wouldn't be a good match? I'm not saying it would be the best match on the planet, but you're just telling me that it wouldn't be. You put those 2 guys in the ring and just yeah, the crowd, nobody would want to see that. I'm not buying into it. You know what I mean? Yeah, part of the problem with downloading too many people, JD, is there's only 100 slots. Like there's only so many slots. So bringing in an entire faction like that, that's not an easy thing to do, especially with the way we're going now. Um, but again, it's just something, just different things we have to we'll be looking at, different stuff we'll be doing. So, but yeah, looking forward at least, and who knows? I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no, but who knows? At least getting maybe Brutus and Walter back on would be uh, would be a good thing. So let's go. Let's see what else. So again, going over like the cover, the cover stars. They're saying the three of them, but here is the actual different ones. So you have the standard edition. You have the second cover and then the third cover. The 40 years of WrestleMania. So $120 version. I don't can't remember the 89, I think. And with these two versions too, you get on there 3 days early. So the game releases March 8th, but you can play it March 5th, which March 5th is a Monday, I believe. No, March 5th is a Tuesday. So game releases on March 8th on a Friday, which is nice going into the weekend. But that Tuesday, March 5th, is when you can actually play it early. So that'll be cool. Yeah, yeah. And so that's the other thing, like if you look at things over the years, it's like the thing that Madden kind of does. Now, the only reason why I'm giving the 2K series a pass on this is because they had to completely rebuild the game back in 20 for 2K22. They skipped 21, right? Because 20 was so broken, and I don't know if people fully understand that. So check this out. Back there, they've got different game modes. They've got your live play mode, right? Your exhibition mode. They have universe mode. They have the showcase mode. They have the tower mode. All of those modes, this will blow your mind, were built individually. Even though they're on the same game, you fire up the game, you can go into whatever, but they were built individual. So picture it like towers. So they built this city block that should have been a game, but all the buildings are individual. That means if you change things in one building, if I change things in this building right here, in this tower, it doesn't affect these other towers at all. So then if I'm going to change something in the game, I've got to change it in all the towers. And that's why 20 broke. They couldn't do it, and then when they thought they changed everything, and then they released that, came out into the wild, all of a sudden it didn't work the way that they thought it would, and obviously it didn't work. So they said we're not releasing the game in 21. They didn't, and then they come out with 22. When they come out in 22, they have to rebuild the game from the ground up, right? So they couldn't get everything in and make it all like one thing and make that work. So they made everything really but universe mode. They're like, we had to, pick our poison and do the things that we had to do. So universe mode was still a little bit outside. Now in 2K23, and the reason why things were a little bit wonky again is because they made universe mode talk with every other mode, or at least speak the same language, right? So maybe they're not talking necessarily, but now they speak the same language. Before, like all your towers, you had French, you had English, you had Japanese, you had Korean, like you had all different kinds of languages, right? Or Hangul, I know what it is. But yet, all these different languages, they're not even speaking the same language to each other. Not only are they separate towers, and so now you've got to fix these different towers individually, but you have to do it using different languages. Now, all the modes use the same toolbox, and I think that's why this year we're seeing so many bigger updates. Now we've got they're bringing in the four different match types. Now they're adding more titles, more people, more scenarios, more GMs, more shows, all this stuff to my GM. They're adding the double title matches, which here's the other thing, like with the double title matches, and this is what I mean. For as many questions as we got answered yesterday, or for as much cool stuff as we saw yesterday, there's like now 150 million more questions. 79.99. That's interesting. Well, that's pretty good. So you think about that, just for $10 more, you're getting the early edition. You know what I mean? So that's not too bad. Um, be able to play it, a few days early at least, and plus you get the season pass and the whatnot. So that's pretty cool. Thanks, Angel, for looking that up. Appreciate that, brother. So now they got them all speaking the same language. They picked one language. Now all of them speak the same language. So now when you're building the things, it goes much quicker because now your toolkit as a developer, you're using this toolkit. Like you pick up the one toolkit and bam, now you're using it. Even if you're having to build it somewhat individually. I'm waiting for the time, and we might not see it till PlayStation 6, where they strip it back down or strip it back down to the ground and build it all the same. Hey, what's going on, JP? I haven't seen you around, brother. How you doing? Well, yeah, that's cool. We've still got you wrestling though, so you're good to go. So yeah, so now they're all saying the same things. Now I think that's why we're seeing so many bigger updates. But back to this double title match. So there is a difference between having a double title match. For instance, you're wrestling for the world title and the intercontinental title, right? Or the US title, whatever you want to say. But both belts are on the line, somebody wins. The belts stay individual, they win the belt. Yay, right? And a unification, a double title unification match where those two belts, one of them is going away. And now there's only the one belt, so maybe there's two world title belts, and now we're going to make a universal title belt. You know what I mean? So that's where you would have like a Raw brand type world title. You'd have a SmackDown brand world title, and then they're like, no, we need one overall world title, and they unify those two belts, or they unify the tag team belts, or they unify the whatever. Are we going to have unification matches? That's going to be the next one. So is that going to be able to happen? The next like big thing, especially for us when you're looking at things, they said they added um, 7 to 9. Now this isn't out on the thing. This was in the interviews, but 7 to 9 brand new um, comebacks. So like when we play the game, all of a sudden the lights go out in the arena, and then the Undertaker standing behind. That's a comeback move. Or they whip them into the rope and they do this stuff and they jump, and then Stone Cold's on top of them beating, and then that leads to us. That's a comeback. Or Hulk Hogan, he starts hulking up. That's a comeback. Well, they have 7 to 9 new ones now, and some of them are pretty dang interesting. Some of them remind me of like the Ric Flair type, where he's on his knees, he's like, no, 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 don't hit me, and then they do something dirty or underhanded, low blow, and now they're back on top, and that's the things that turned stuff around. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so master, uh, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So that's the one That's one of the new comebacks now where he'll put his hand, like they'll be on their knees, they'll put their hands up. Remember Shawn Michaels used to do it too? Put their hands up and be like, no, 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 no. And then they get too close and then it's like a snake. Bam, strike, something low, and then it kind of turns the match around. So really, really Ric Flair-esque. Now, another thing that they've done, and I didn't see it in there, but now there's throwable weapons. Every weapon but one in the game can now be thrown. So now you can get water bottles, and we'll get into the backstage thing here in a second because this kind of parlays into that. But you can now get water bottles and throw. And they said that the facial expressions in this year's game is on another level. So like you throw and hit somebody with a water bottle, they'll have a weird facial expression, you know. And he said that they're pretty sure there's going to be like a lot of memes done of this, you know, like TikToks, quick TikToks, where it just shows the, you know, if you guys, you know, shows a facial expression like what are you doing? So that'll be interesting to see. That'll be an improvement. But yeah, there's more weapons now. Now there's guitars. There's this. So you know the Jeff Jarrett's that have the guitars, or the honky tonk bands, or you know stuff like that. Now they're gonna have guitars as weapons. Just a bunch of more things. Uh, they've upgraded the backstage area to where now there's a working elevator. You can have up to 4 players. Before, see, we don't see it a whole lot because you can only have 1 player. But what if I wanted 3 players to jump 1 player in the back? Or what if it was a 2-on-2, like a tag team got after another tag team in the back or something? You know what I mean? But you can't even add that. So that'll be really interesting too. So the thing that I found interesting is, you know, there's like tell your story. This isn't how the story ends, you know, for Cody Rhodes, like finish your story. So they're giving us more and more ways to tell the story, to tell our stories in universe mode, to open that up, to be able to do all the same things in all the modes across the board. So very excited about all of that. It's almost now getting back to the point where this channel isn't a pure wrestling channel. That's the main thing we do, right? But it's not a pure wrestling channel. I don't think there's enough content in 2K22, in 2K19, and 2K23. It's getting to the point where there might be enough content in this game to hold down the game for 6-7 months. Like, that's pretty big. Yeah, that's why it's like, you know, you can probably tell that I'm pretty excited about some things, but like I'm very tempered in that, um, because the game's going to have bugs. There's no way around it. Like every game on the planet has bugs now, right? So our double title match is going to work. Don't know. Hopefully. The thing where I feel pretty good about most of it is most of this stuff is kind of in the game, or the base of it has already been laid, right? The base of what's been going on is already in the game. There are double title matches in the game. They're just not double title matches in universe mode. So now they're bringing it to universe mode. But again, it would be cool that if we made a new belt, that they actually had a cutscene where we unveiled the belt again. Like that was in the game for a while. Um, you know, a lot of the time you would have to put the right people in the right places and do it. Like there's a way that you'd have to go around doing it. But it would be cool if they would just put the cutscene in the game, let me choose the title belt, and then when we make a new title belt, we have a promo where the guy goes down and gets to unveil the belt. Maybe he's the current champion already, and he's like, hey, here's the old championship. It's around his waist or over his shoulder. And they pull up the curtain or the little thing, and then you see the belt right there, right? That'd be cool. But they've taken that out of the game, like that cutscene. So it'd be cool if they would put that back in. So right now, and the reason, again, this goes back to what Master was talking about, but it's all they've been doing really is taking things and putting it back into the game. But where I give them the pass, and I don't give Madden a pass for this, they rebuilt the game in 22. In 23, they built on the game and brought a new feature. There's never been a WarGames. So they put WarGames in the thing. In 23 or in 24, they're building on all of those systems that they're building. So they're bringing in things and putting in new things. And they're not trying to fool you by all new features, the greatest new features of all time. No, they're like, hey, we brought back this thing. We brought back this other thing. We had to rebuild the game. So they stripped it down to the bare bones, and now they're building on it. And if that's what they had to do to make a better game, I'm in. That's fine. Now, there has to be a reason to do it. You know what I mean? If every 4 or 5 years that's what they're doing, yeah, no more passes. But right now they have a lot of goodwill in the community, so they should keep building off of this stuff. Yeah, the stuff that doesn't work, take it out. But if you're taking out things that do work and then bringing them back later and building them as brand new features like Madden does, then yeah, you can screw off. Like, I'm not having that. No passes there. People were talking about the new titles in the game and they were like, oh, they look beautiful. To me, they look the same. But I've heard that they've improved creation suites. Like, there's more depth, there's more stuff, there's more whatever. If you watch this channel, you know how much I put into title belts, into our matches, into different things. And if you don't, let me just take you. And you can download all of our stuff in the WWE 2K23 creation suites. Just use hashtag totes. Everything that we've uploaded can be downloaded using hashtag totes. I put it on everything. Hashtag TOTES in the creation suites. Hold on, we're going to switch over here real quick just so you can see some of the stuff. So let's switch over to what's going on in game. We have our 8-man tag titles. We have our GC Rock Survival belt. Some belts. Look at that, Order of the Phoenix. You've seen it here first. We haven't even announced that belt yet. The Queen of the Ring title belt, the different Raw championships, we built some of these belts before they ever came out on. And we used things in the game to build the belts. When we had the Stampede, I've held on to those. The WWE versions of the United States title. Now we're getting into what we actually have in our universe mode right now. The different Universal Championships, men and women's. NWO right now owns that belt, so that's why it's got a WO on it. The old WCW Hardcore Champion and the new belt. This is a Hardcore Championship title that we haven't even used yet. We may never use it. But look at that belt. You can see etched in gold right there. It's Hardcore Champion. It's a pretty cool looking belt. But I like our other version of the Hardcore belt, so we may never see that. King of the Ring. What the belt that started it all. This is where we really started getting good at making some belts. Our WCW Light Heavyweight Championship belt. Belt's got a lot of history on it. The brand new U.S. title, our old and our new television title, our tag team titles in our WCW Universe mode, the old women's television, the new women's. Look at this. We have some U.S. title belts. This is the current one, but we have some new ones that we haven't used, may not use, like we're coming up against it. Our world title belt. This is the next title belt that taught us how to do gold engraving. So you have the Monday Nitro. You have our logo in there. All this stuff you can do in game. People create things outside the game and bring it in, and people are like, oh, it's amazing. No, it's not. It's a cool belt, I guess, but nobody could recreate that. All these belts we recreate with stuff that you can use in the game or images that you can import and do in the game, not outside of the game. So, yeah, all different kinds of belts, but all the belts our Rogue Nation when we're thinking about changing it up and going Rogue Nation. So then that's the other thing that I hope, because so here's another thing, like you put this on the wish list and we don't know yet, but now that everything's using the same toolboxes, it would be neat if everything could say the same thing. So if you went into, for instance, the GC Rock Survival Champion, the game might have the audio where it can say survival, but now in the championship creation, it doesn't. So you go into title information, and here I only can say these words. I wish across all the boards of all the things, if it can say the words, if it could say the words for the names, if it could say the words for the title, it could say it either way and for both. Like you took all of this. If you wanted to say the Smith World Championship, then you could say it. But I wish they would do that. Because then people could actually create their own Ka wrestling type stuff. Like you could get some weird stuff going on for the championships, to be fair. Yeah, I'm excited for that too. And look, guys, the more members we get, that's the fastest way to do it. The more members we get, the more belts we're going to get. Like, period. If we can get up to, we're at 6 members right now, but if we can get up to around 20 members, can you imagine that just for half a second? 20 members. That would be like every 2 to 3 months we'd be getting a title belt. We'd be fighting for a title belt. You can look at right back here. That belt that I have back here is like, Jesus, 30 years old. But we could be getting title belts. We could be getting updated, some updated equipment. All the money goes back into this. I don't need the money. I've got a good job. I don't need it. So all the money goes back into making a better studio, our giveaways for the title belts, like all that stuff. It'd be amazing. But yeah, that's the fastest way. But it doesn't matter. It's not always about fast either on this channel. We can take our time doing whatever we need to do. Yeah, I'm also hoping for more cost slots. Like, hopefully. Here's another thing. So glad you brought that up, JP. Not only, hey, Eagle, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the stream. Angela, welcome to the stream, too. Glad you're joining us today. Here's another thing. We're going to have... So I don't know if this cuts into the created wrestler 100 slots, but you're going to be able to create referees. So that's the next part of this. They announced that they're going to have 7 real referees, like real life on WWE right now referees. In the trailer, let's go back to the trailer real quick. Let me see if we can't get that going. Hold on. Let's see if we can find the different referees. So if you guys haven't seen the trailer, we're going to kind of go through this trailer again and watch it. But I'm going to be pausing it. So let's go here.
Cody Rhodes suffered a nightmare tonight.
I think this is how my story ends.
Roman Reigns has done it again.
This is the story of legacy.
Look at the power of Belair.
Real referee in the WWE. And this is a new one. We haven't seen her yet. The other thing that I hope that they're going to be doing with the referees too is, you notice in our universe mode, and I point it out all the time, they change referees match to match to match. And I think that's how it should be. It shouldn't be, oh, I picked this one referee. No, I picked the style of referee, like the style of the uniform, but I think it should rotate randomly through all the referees. So it's going to be fun making our own referees as well. Hopefully they're not taking up that cost slot though. It's funny, they snuck that one in there. It looked like Randy Orton in a special guest referee. So, yeah, it is crazy. What's going on, Lilesco? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, like, so that's the one thing on here where they're like, oh, we added all this new announcing stuff. I turn off all the announcers anyway, and I do the announcing. So, um, like for us on the channel, it doesn't really matter. It's going to matter a little bit because we'll turn on the announcers for when we're doing these different modes now. So we'll turn on the announcers. But the problem I always find with the announcers, it's so repetitive. It doesn't matter what game you're playing. You could be playing a sports game. The only one that I find isn't so repetitive is the baseball game. If you notice that you don't notice the announcers, it's pretty good. Yeah, Rhea Ripley is amazing. And they're going to have different versions of all these wrestlers. You think they're doing the 40 years of WrestleMania, so they're going to have different versions of Brock, Brett, Charlotte, Hulk, The Rock. Look at The Rock's version on there when you look at the 40 years of WrestleMania cover. Cena, Shawn Michaels, thank God. Becky Lynch, look, they have her actually looking normal, which is nice. They always, for some reason, go the wrong way with Becky Lynch. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, what are you doing with Becky Lynch? Absolutely ridiculous. Can you imagine Jade Cargill versus Rhea? Man. That would be amazing. That would absolutely be amazing. So that is DLC. That's a really interesting question. I think we're going to see, to be fair, since the pre-order bonus is going to be Cody Rhodes, I was really hoping. Hold on one second. Let's see if we can get this in there. But I have a feeling there's going to be a Bray Wyatt pack. You're going to see Jade Cargill is going to be... I don't think she releases with the normal game. I think what ends up happening is she releases with... but she ends up releasing with... the DLC. So here's part of this. You got the WWE, the different things. With the deluxe edition, you have the season pass, the Nightmare Family Pack, deluxe edition bonus pack. Let's see if they talk about it. I swear to God, I saw it on here, like when I did something. Iconic rosters. They say this is going to be the biggest roster, over 200 number. I think it was 230 or 220 wrestlers. The gauntlet match is going to be amazing. Backstage brawl, you can have up to 4 people now. You're going to have like the NXT stuff that happens as well. Like the NXT stuff is going to be there. Yeah. You know, and the thing is, too, like, the thing that I never really... The thing that I, like, never really liked, I'll show you. I'll show you. On here, let's get back into... the game. If you look at the normal version, we'll do it this way. Let's do it this way. Just to show. We'll even do it in the new arena. So sneak peek for everybody who's here on the new arena. But if you look at these different versions of Hulk Hogan. So let's look at Hogan versus Hogan. This first version, like, is... the first version of Hulk Hogan that comes out, his model, it's way too bulky. Look at the two guys, the two pictures that they used. Like back in the day, like early Hogan, like when he first came out. That's what this model will look like. Even though now he's older, he's whatever. That does not look like Hogan. That looks like Thunder Lips back in Rocky 3, you know what I mean?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, representing the NWO from Hollywood, California, weighing in
Right
at
there.
302 pounds, Hollywood Hogan!
So never really liked this version of Hogan, because that's not what Hogan looks like today. You know what I mean? Then you look at the version we made. Yeah, look at that. This version, love it. Like this version, I want to put the world title belt on him.
And his opponent from Venice Beach, California, weighing in at 302 pounds, Hulk Hogan.
That looks like Hulk Hogan now. Like when you go back to like the WCW, he's still big, right? Still a monster, but a lot more lean, a lot more tall. But that looks like Hogan for real. Look at them both in the ring. We'll watch a little bit of these guys like getting after it, but like even if you put the bandana on him, even if you do, but just the body part of it. And look, it's still, that looks like Hogan. The other guy looks, I don't know. Just too big and too bulky. And so every time I would try to get him in our universe mode, I'm just like, yeah, I don't even like how it looks. So... yeah. So, but yeah, but anyway, just wanted to kind of get in, be able to talk about WWE, the 2K24. We're going to start having more of these type of streams to where we can talk, especially now as more information comes out. If some big information comes out, we'll probably be doing this. Now that we've got the thing, so when new trailers come out or new something comes out or new information comes out that maybe we need to watch the video on it, we're gonna have more of that going on. So yeah, guys, really appreciate everything. We're gonna jump off of here for now. But remember, if you guys want to join us live, if you guys want to see what we do live with our live shows, wrestling's not the only thing we do, but it's a big thing we do. We turn off the commentators, we make the wrestlers, we make the title belts, we make the arenas, we write the storylines, we do all that stuff. Turn off the commentators, I do the commentating. And yeah, I don't think there's anything quite like it for real on YouTube. There's people that do stuff, right? Some of it's actually, to be fair, it's pretty cool. But I don't think anybody truly does some commentating. If you don't believe it, go check out. We're in season 5 right now. I have the playlist. Go and just check out one of our shows. See if it's something you want to be a part of. If it is, awesome. But drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss any time we go live. And if it so compels you, become a member of the channel. Kind of have a goal right now. If we can get up to 20 members, we're going to be cranking out some title belts. We are going to start buying replica title belts and giving them away on the channel. And not just giving them away like, oh, you get a title belt, you get a title belt. You're going to have to wrestle for it in this game. And we are going to treat it, and we're going to do the announcing. The computer controls. I do not control the wrestlers. The computer controls it, and that will determine who wins the title belt. You win it in the game, you'll be getting sent the title belt. So it's pretty cool. Be a lot of fun. But yeah, and that's what you get to look forward to. If you want to become, if you're not in our universe mode already and want to become a character in our universe mode, that is the fastest way to do it. Otherwise, you don't have to become a member. Otherwise, just show up, support the channel, be in the chat, and that'll get you in there too. So, guys, loved hanging out with you. Brand new format, so this is interesting. Hey, what's going on, Rowdy? You made it. Welcome to the stream, brother. Yeah, Totes does give life advice too. You can get me talking about a lot of things, to be fair. So, but yeah, really appreciate all the support, guys, and everything that we're doing. We're already up to 852 members, on our way to 1,000. That's going to happen soon, I hope. So, yeah, and that's all due to the community here. Like, this isn't just me doing things. It's all of us pushing in the same direction, which is amazing. Really cool to see. So we'll catch all of you in the next one. Peace.